Hey, welcome to the Killer Be Killed Codcast. I'm Damian, you're my buddy Josh, and you are, if you are here, you are one of the very few. Thank you for joining us. Little thoughts and prayers out to George's brother who got a little fender bender today.
Yeah.
Says he's all right. He's driving his truck at work. Somebody hit into his side, and I think he's concussed and banged up a little bit, but he is with his brother right now. So, a lot happening. Did you happen to see the kidnapping?
No, you sent me that thing earlier, and I was like, "Oh, what's this? I haven't heard about it."
Okay, so there's a famous. Let me just start pulling this up. All right. So Nancy Guthrie is the mom of a anchor woman, Guthrie. I'm not familiar with her at all, so don't ask me if I know who this person is. So her mom's 84 years old. She was in a she uses a walker. She's staying at home by herself. She doesn't have an assisted, anyone living with her. From what I know, her daughter, so this anchor's sister, and her son-in-law, so they're both married. The mom Ubered over to their house for dinner, and then afterwards the son-in-law drove her back, dropped her off, and that was the last person to see her. Apparently there's some ransom with Bitcoin and some other things. I mean, he was obviously a person of interest. They don't know where the woman is. She left all her meds there. She's on a pacemaker. They turned her pacemaker off because you can't track her then. So there's that. So this reason I bring it up, the video got released of the supposed kidnapper that is having a problem with the Ring the Nest video camera. So let me just close this. All right. So this is the video. I shut the volume off. So gloved up, masked up. So my guess is that he wants to obstruct the camera for when he takes the victim out. So he's trying to cover it with shrubbery.
I guess he did successfully.
I'm trying to, figure out if this guy is planning this kidnapping. You've got the mask, you've got the gloves, there's a Nest camera, there's a camera there. Why wouldn't you bring, I don't know, masking, tape?
Or, it obviously caught him on his approach anyways.
Right. So, but again, he's wearing them. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. He's masked up. He's like head to toe covered. Like you can't, and it's black and white because it's in night vision mode. So like you can't even really tell anything. So like, why even care?
I guess in his mind, he wants to, confuse, obfuscate, whatever you want to call it, the time of the kidnapping. But they're going to know if she shuts the, as soon as they shut the pacemaker off, they'll know when.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's sometime between this point and that point, right?
Right. So, you're looking at this. This is clearly somebody who knows this person. Right. I'm like, to me, it's like, for somebody who's famous, it's like there's so many more famous people you could kidnap their parents.
Yeah, I mean, they either know the person or they, were contracted to do this.
If I paid that guy to do that, I want my money back, man.
Yeah, but think about like Tanya Harding,
Right. Again,
like,
of course, we're assuming all these guys are like on some level trained.
I've never searched for like a kidnapping expert or a hitman or anything like that. Not that I'd ever need to. But I imagine it's like you got your levels, right? You're like, here's your McDonald's level, and here's like your Black Rock level.
There is, right. Well, you're not gonna, if you're a regular person, you're not gonna know the Black Rock level guy.
Exactly. So like you can't even find it, right?
No, I mean, anyone who goes in and tries to hire somebody out of like Craigslist, it's a cop.
It's a cop. Yeah.
You are hiring a cop, moron.
Yeah. And if like you know enough to like get into the the dark web, right? Just enough to get in trouble, so they know just enough to hire this guy.
Right, exactly. And then now you're like, okay, now what?
Right.
It's like,
or it's somebody they know.
Right. But even if this is this is your guy, right? And you could talk to coworker, someone at work or whatever. I mean, it's
sure,
just,
whatever.
This is clearly not someone who's like planned and thought this out. This is not mastermind level stuff. This is someone realizing, okay, I just need to no prints, no face, and I'm done.
But in the end, like, he was successful, so it doesn't need a master level mind to be able to pull it off,
Which brings up the next point. Right? It's like, so how did he gain access to the house?
Yeah.
Right? How did did she let him in? Was the door open? Did he kick did he, was there forced entry? These things we don't know. Obviously, if you see this at your house, you obviously, call the police and get your gun, not in that order, So I don't know how this, I don't know how the kidnapping transpired. He probably, my guess, now that we're talking this out, because this is like literally the most I've thought about it since this thing has been passed and pasted all over the news. My guess is that it's somebody she knows because, he didn't want to show how he got into the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because it would be one thing if we walked up and just used a key, right? Then it's like, well, where do you get the key from?
Right.
Or punched in the code or however they get in the house,
Right. Right. So, yeah, I think that's, I think it's, definitely. I mean, it's most likely probably going to be the son-in-law. Yeah. So I don't know. It's just all over the news. And, yeah. So I got some other things too before we get to my one favorite. So this is, yeah.
Is this hate mail?
No, I didn't. I haven't felt like going on hate mail. Like we were talking about before, I'm like, me and social media, I'm on and then I'm not.
I thought about getting on there because I had like an hour and a half ish before this started, and I was like, maybe I'll get on and look for some hate mail. I don't know, but I didn't get to it.
Right. I'm like, I mean, I'll get around to it. Again, I got to get in the mood. We've been really busy. And, when I got down there, I'm like, as much as I goof on it, there's a part of it that like sucks my soul away, when I'm getting into it. And it's just, I don't think it's good for your mental health. So there's that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, speaking of hating though. Oh, nope, not that one. That one. All right. So,
ooh, Aikido, let's go. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Now,
wait, what happened? I didn't see it. It was so fast.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, she's not taking the break fall. I mean, like, if this were an exercise on, okay, redirecting somebody's force, right? I'm like, okay, let benefit of the doubt this, right? This is, people, it's like, okay, well, I'm going to show you in an illustrative manner how to redirect somebody's energy. Right.
That person's prancing is my favorite.
Yeah. She's like, okay, I'm doing it. So, we're doing this drill and I'm like, all right. But now as a self-defense, even the practical application of this, like trying to get, it's a long road to get to where you wanted to go. And why waste your time doing this other than something else? I mean, practice a throw, do something where you're actually, have something a little bit more tangible that you can take out of it. I'm like, this is just,
it's not even good dancing.
No. And I can't, but there's everybody who's like signed up for this and is doing it and is having, a good time. Okay. But yeah, again, this is like what's out there. And again, God love these people for, doing something, with their, Friday night. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're getting out of this. Yeah.
Even if that was like some sort of weird warm up.
Yes.
I don't know why. I don't know why you would choose to post that to like demonstrate, like, come have fun with us at, Aikido Palace of Arts. Like that.
Right.
Why would you post that?
Right.
Like, show me snapping some dude's wrist in half,
Yeah, right. Give me some like above the law, please.
Please
give me above the law.
Like, just play a Steven Seagal movie.
Right. Okay, so now these next few, I love this lady. I call this Milf-jitsu. And this is like actual training. She's the instructor. Like Tiffany Trickster, very 80s, XTR, love it. Here we go.
I mean, at least they're like kind of talking about palm strike into the face.
Right. Where are we going?
Okay.
All right. So much. None of this is ever going to happen at all. So we talk about, we talk about like fine motor skills and gross motor skills. And we talk about when you're under stress. So when somebody is seriously trying to stab you, like, Jason, fine, whatever, you're not, this gunting and parrying, I'm like, it's not, there's going to be so much more happening. They're going to be closing ground on you and trying to freaking plunge that thing in you as hard as and fast as possible. And your SNS is going to get tripped and you're going to be like, you're going to be able to do like a couple things. And this thing is like, and what a lot of martial arts do is they like break down every little thing and they assume one, you're going to have obviously the presence of mind to do any of this stuff. Two is that, you're going to be able to move in such a rate that you're going to be able to get any of these things happening. I mean, once you get past that, you're done. I mean, you're not.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be one of those people that's like, oh, they're moving so slow, because it's obviously they're training, they're teaching, right?
They're teaching it, right? So
slow,
I'm not.
It should be slow, right?
Right. Yes.
But it's what they're doing that is just like, this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
like, you're gonna reach through their arm up their back and grab their hand. Like, excuse me, what? Now, I will say the thing that I do, the redeeming feature that I like about what I've seen of this kind of stuff is that they say, well, if this doesn't work, you're in this position. Now you can do this, right? So at least they're like, hey, we understand that this might not happen. So what do you do next, right? I'll at least give them that.
Right.
The mind's in the right place at that point.
But I think,
it's just terrible.
But it's like, if it doesn't do this, I do, like, your mind isn't shifting like that.
No. I agree.
Right?
I agree.
I know you do. So
Yeah.
I think, when people are hearing that too, they're like, oh yeah, well, no, you're like, if they do, no, you're going to be able to do like 2 or 3 things, keep them going, and make them count. I'm like, all this stuff, it's like, what do we, it's like fantasy movie stuff. It doesn't even, if there was like any bit of resistance, from the partner, and I realized, look, she's not hurting her, but this doesn't do anything. That doesn't do anything. That does something. That does something, right? When she starts striking her, that's the only time she's putting damage on her, and she's counting on those strikes to cause enough damage, which you can't. No. You can't. She effectively struck her twice in the face, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
The rest is like trying all this, like nonsense, and and it's like, and you're sitting there and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, that would work because you feel pain in a joint. I just, it's just, again, but wait, there's so more.
Bad. Yeah, I'm sure there is. I'm sure there is.
So yeah. Oh yeah. Oh.
Before we move on to the next one, though, don't press play yet.
Okay.
The other one I really like about that entire scenario is the double ice pick grip, reverse grip dagger, because that's how people are coming at you like a snake venom,
Right. Yeah. Again, it's like, it was funny, and you think about, well, where did that come from? I'm like, well, one place where they did actually, like, trench warfare, right? Where you're like, but again, most of the time it's just, they're just gripping it and sticking it straight, dude. I'm like, that.
Yeah,
the Jason
sensor style, like,
yeah,
they're just stabbing.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah. All right.
Anyways.
So here we go. Here we go. More Salat. Yeah, of course. So it's like a lot, it's just sitting there and them allowing you to do whatever. So this is my problem with all of this stuff. Okay. Attacker does 1 strike, stop. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, they're not. She's not moving forward. She's not aggressively advancing. She's not trying to do anything. And right now you're grappling and you're just doing some fancy crap that isn't even a good, leg lock. I'm like,
I was going to say, like, even the grapple technique is just insane.
It's grappling for people who've never grappled. I'm like, this, like, there's nothing. And even when you're hitting, right, you're not even turning your hips. You're not like, there's nothing going on. You do a kidney punch. And again, this is like typical martial arts, thinking that everything they do is a kill shot and golden nuggets coming out of their hands and feet. Right? I'm like, everything you do works. Everything you do works. I can do whatever you want. This person that I'm fighting has no will or intention.
Oh, I hate when instructors say that.
Right. Like, they have no ability. They're just going to immediately submit and allow you to just move around them without any adjustment. Even if this person, like, realistically attacked, right, they would still be running and, like, swinging at them and attacking them and stalking them.
You mean wait, you mean an object in motion will stay in motion unless right, a force is acted upon it?
Look at her feet. That's it. That is not that is like, yeah, okay. And then I'm gonna allow you to do everything. And I'm looking at the guys in the background too. I'm like, I can't. Yeah, it's
so bad.
It's awful. But wait, there's more. There's more. I got one more, and then it's all the same shit. And, people talk about Salat and stuff like that because some guy they know was tough and looked good and fast and things like that. It's like this stuff is not good.
It debuted, or not debuted, but it made famous for sure with the Born Identity series.
Yeah, of course, right. Some guy got a movie, and and then oh yeah, here you go. Oh, what's that? That is fucking movie fighting. Okay, here we go. Knife. Now, okay, so you got one guy with a hammer grip.
Wait, before you press play, their flag in the back there looks like a Nintendo controller.
It does. It really does. Oh shit! Here we go.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, so let's say you pull off this first one. All right, great. Now what? What's your next move? I'm not stabbing you in your midsection. And did you switch the grip on the knife on me or no?
No, he's got two knives. One's a what's it called? The
karambit.
Karambit. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So you have that.
Look where he places his karambit. He's gonna cut his own leg open.
He's gonna cut his own leg. It's funny, and you mentioned that, and then it's like when you train with a live knife and you're stabbing your dummy, the cardboard or whatever you decide to put together, and from like module 8 or module 9, I'm like, you don't, once you have a live knife and you're actually stabbing something, you fucking are careful. I don't even put that thing back across my body. Like if you do sensory removal shit, it gets fucking sketchy.
Yeah.
Because you're coming in and if you have the throat and then that is dude.
Your own arm, your own shoulder, bicep.
I do not like it.
Like you're coming backwards into it. You're like, man, how far is that gonna go?
Yeah, this dude missing. I'm gonna miss. My adrenaline's gonna be going. It is sketchy as hell. Hey Tom, thanks for joining us. So he's got two knives. So instead of stabbing the body, he decides to do a Bill Murray and go to the hamstring. Okay, and this, of course, immediately she feels it and falls down. Because, by the way, take that karambit and cut through a pair of jeans or a pair of pants. It's not easy, guys, to slice through clothing. Try it.
Not to mention it's a hooked blade, right? So he's actually hooking and cutting everything, not just like a clean, smooth slice.
Right.
So he's actually hooking the muscle, he's hooking the tendon, and then it's cutting it. So that's even more resistance, right?
Yeah, I just right. So you gotta actually take a pair of jeans. If you're gonna if you're thinking about this, put it on something and slice it. Not like yourself or something. Put it on a line.
Not on something. Yeah, something not alive.
Yeah, not alive. Please. Put it on something that I'm gonna cut. Dude, see how easy it is to cut it. You're not gonna slash a sweatshirt. That's what I love about people are like, slashing and things like that. I'm like, dude, I go, the only thing that works is stabs. It's the only thing. Is how far you can get that thing into your target, period. And slashes are stabs that missed.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the design of weaponry, right? So, military historian-ish coming out. I'm sorry, guys. Let's talk about the design of weaponry a little bit, okay? So anything that is a true slicing weapon, like on the battlefield, is a sword, right? Not a knife, not a dagger. It's a sword.
Right.
It's got heft, it's got length, it's got you're like swinging your whole body or at least a good portion of your body into it, and you're cutting with a large portion of blade because the first so many inches probably isn't going to do anything or miss. The last little bit's probably not going to do anything or miss. You know what I mean? And so you're hoping that somewhere along that 16 inches something's going to cut, right? Not a little knife or dagger, right? You don't if you look at battlefields across the world historically where they used edged weapons to kill people, you didn't find small knives, you found daggers, because that's what you would use. You would puncture with it, right? Because a small cutting utensil isn't going to get the job done.
Right. And that's what, you look at, immediately when you said that, I always thought of the Spartans and the Greeks, and the type of weapons and edge weapons that they used. It was either a spear or a sword, like a sword. What's the name of the sword that the Spartans used? I always forget.
I have to go back and look at it. The
Hold
Gladius.
Yeah. I mean, I think that, Spartan sword. Xiphos. Gladius, I think, is Romans, right?
Yeah. The Xiphos was Greek. Yeah.
So, I mean, both very short infighting stuff. I mean,
right, but by short, they were still, so many inches long.
Yeah,
right?
at least a foot.
And they used them to stab.
Yes.
Yeah,
at least a foot and a half. And it's like, think about, well, what about the samurai? I go, yeah, what about the samurai? Again, talking about that long sword. And you're
super long sword,
super long. So and also they a lot of the cuts and the slashes too were also meant to imbalance a guy, so when you could like knock him down and like actually run him through. And by the way, then they had short swords and tantos and shit like that for like in close stuff that they would stab people with. So this whole stuff, it's like it's like the same shit with like tactical pens, where people are like, oh, I'm just going to do this and this and this. I go, dude, if you get that pen in there, which you can, you're probably not taking it out. It's probably not getting pulled out. So
wait, because blood is greasy and slippery.
Right. And your body like sucks on the things. And like,
and there's like a suction. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you're like, like this stuff is like, it's like a magic wand, it's like, oh, okay, there. Oh, automatically go down. Okay. Well, cut throat. Sure. I mean, why didn't you just do that before? But then it's like this, you're just like letting, like, it's one stab. Two attack, it's one and then one, and you're waiting. And I understand if this is like, you're like,
it's a training drill, like you're practicing it. Yeah.
But the premise on it is ridiculous because you're not going to have the time or the, action faster than reaction. You're not going to have time to react to this. You're not. You maybe be able to get out of the way of the one blade if they're holding it out like a knucklehead, this like West Side Story dance. But you're the second thing's not happening. And if I'm the first person attacking, I'm not going to attack like faster. As soon as she does this, he should be dead. What pause? What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you have too, Damian, but I've done actual, like, with not real knives, right? Because obviously that'd be stupid, but with practice knives, like actually like, hey, we're going to knife fight.
Right. Yeah.
And it turns into like the most simple, basic, like fencing with a knife because you're trying not to get cut either. And then you're like ramming it in as hard and as fast as you can, run up on the guy before they have a chance.
Right. You're
all this other stuff goes away.
You're like bouncing around, avoiding them, trying to get them to step off and you to get it,
exactly.
And then it's none of this. That's why I always love like oh man, I want to find it. Hold on. I'm gonna see if I can find
That's one thing I do like about HEMA. Have you looked into HEMA a whole lot?
No, not at all. I don't know.
So HEMA, I forget what it stands for. It's basically like like people find these old military like martial manuals from the medieval times.
Yeah.
And they like practice their sword styles and whatever else, And so it's like it stands for like something European martial arts, or it's basically medieval martial arts, right?
Right.
And and they like go, but they like put on the full kit and they're like, all right, now it's time to swing, and they go at it with each other.
Yeah.
And it's like you see where, you know, it's like they're not doing none of that stuff.
Right. Yeah. Right. So I found a video. So the Dog Brothers, dude, like this is back when like Filipino martial arts got like, you know, big, you know, and were really, you know, really hot. This was right after Taekwondo was popular. So now these guys used to go, okay, we're going to stick fight. We're going to put on, you know, some protective gear and we're going to stick fight in the yard. All right. Let me just see if you can see that. Okay, good. Ready? Here you go. Okay, so they're doing the Sinawais. Here's the actual fighting. Yeah, there you go. That's what it looks like.
That's what it turned into.
That is the actual freaking fighting. You know, I mean, these dudes are these. I mean, I'm a fan of these guys. I think they're psychos, and it's awesome. But they're doing all this.
Hey, thanks, Mike. Right? You gave us the breakdown of HEMA, historical European martial arts. There you go.
Thank you. So they're doing all the Sinawales and stuff like that. And I want to see if they get more sparring. Yeah, here we go. Here's some knife fighting. But again, it's like what we're talking about. You know, you're sitting there, you're not.
I want to see it. Wait, yeah, I want to see how that one goes.
I mean, yeah, right. You know, and there you go. And there you go.
Looks real. Yep. And now that's it.
Yes, that's it. That is it. You know, and now you're just like, why do I have this stick? It's like, well, it just gets in the way. You know, wait. I'm like,
you mean I can just grapple this dude?
Yeah. Now I'm just gonna. Yeah, right. Now we're just gonna fight. And yeah, there you go.
Oh gosh.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, no shit, you're just now. I just poke myself with my stick. Oh, there you go.
Hey, we got a knife in there. That was great.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, that's yes. You know, holy crap, dude. Yeah, man.
Yeah, you're right though.
Yeah, it's just like that's they're moving in. You're moving in and out. You're fighting, all that stuff. And then once you close the distance, all that crap goes out the window. And you see, like, in close quarters when you're grappling with somebody and they're stabbing the shit out of you, that's why you don't grapple with somebody. You know, and all these. And the problem is, though, too, is that these guys are friends. It's a martial art. It's still kind of a sport. So, you're not really gouging his eye out. You're not really biting them. They're kind of not really hitting each other because
they're still friends.
They're friends, man. You can't, you want to sit there and like spar somebody. You could be like, okay, here's tap. I'm not hitting you. So
they walked away with bruises and scrapes, but that's it.
Yeah. And the only way you can do that is with, when you're grappling in close range. And then when you're grappling in close range, guys, a knife, you're freaking going to get stabbed to death, and that's, case in point right there. So when these guys do all the other stuff, that it's like, it's a massive waste of time. And it looks like, I just want to keep sharing it again because it's great.
It is great.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So, makes me think of this time I was taught a quote unquote high percentage gun disarm.
Okay.
And I was practicing it, and it seemed really hokey, but I was like, it's supposed to work, and I was practicing on people, and it was working. But then I was like, I want to see, does this actually work, right? So I went to my dad, who my dad is bigger than I am, especially at the time, and I was like, hey, Dad, here's this training gun. I'm going to try and disarm. You hold it out however you want. I'm going to try and disarm it using a specific disarm, but I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
Right.
And he was like, okay. I was like, I just want to see if it works. And he was like, okay. And he held on, he put it, he held it out, and I tried this disarm and it worked 0.
Right.
Right. And I went, man, that was terrible. My dad goes, what are you doing? He goes, this is what they taught me in the Marine Corps. Check this one out. Bam. And I was like, why didn't somebody teach me that? And he goes, I don't know. He's like, here, let's do it again. You do that one now. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, bam. And I was like, okay, that worked.
Right. Exactly. You know, and it said like even like these guys, and it's oh, by the way, and this is another point that I want to make about just the sticks. You know, these guys are hitting each other like
Yeah.
legit. Nobody's like it's not disabling anybody. I mean, I like that's a real rattan stick right there. And yeah, there you go. Yeah, screw that thing. We don't need it anymore. You know,
This
that's
is
it.
not working. I'm done.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's why the thing with the whole the Eskrima sticks, when I trained in them, I'm like, you know, yeah, but no, because you know, you're not like, I mean, unless you like if you crack somebody on the head, you know, or in the neck or something, yeah, you definitely would get something. But most of the times it's like if you're coming at me with this stick, you know, you're catching an arm or you're catching, and unless it's like an axe handle or a real like police baton, you know, or a pipe, you know, it's not going to have the effect. And here's the proof of it. I mean, guys, that dudes don't have any padding on. He's getting hit. You're going to get bruised. It's going
They're protecting their face,
painful.
which is smart.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure they got cups on and some other stuff and shin guards and shit like that. But for the most part, you know, you're walking off those strikes. So what's the point? Like if you're fighting this guy and he's doing this stuff, I'm just rushing you. You know, these guys, the one thing you got to keep in mind is like these guys want to use their stick skills so much, right? So there's like this, how can we put this? Like gentleman's agreement, you know, and it's like you'll get it when you're doing anything. I don't care, especially if you're doing a combat sport. Like with me, it was like wrestling or judo or karate, you know, where you're like, yeah, okay, we're gonna go, but we're not gonna go. Like these guys are both like agreeing not to close the distance and grab each other, right? They want to stay at that distance so they can use their stick skills.
Right. Yeah,
right?
Of course.
So, you know, and it looks cool. But again, this is a game, as Mike points out, and you know, they want, and it is sparring among friends. But you're seeing like glimpses in here when there's guys, and I'm imagining the guys who are just going to the grappling are the ones that have the least amount of time invested in their stick training.
For sure.
Right? Because the more you're involved in this, the more you're like in the cult, you know, the greater the chance that, you know, that you want to make this, like, you want to look, man, this is what I do. I'm going to make this work. Yeah, there's a guy with the stupid, you know, he just, you know, again, with that ice pick grip, you know, it's like, it's just wasted so much, you know, you're missing so much length.
I mean, he never gets close enough to use it.
Right. I mean, I think he lands one.
But he basically grabbed him with his other hand.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he could have just, honestly, if he had the other grip, he would have just like, you know, could have ran it in him. Mm-hmm. Like prison style. So again, this is like the knife fighting that you're talking about, right? It's like,
that's what it looks. That's what it looks like. Is you're just like, I don't want to get stabbed.
Yeah, and you're just, you know, doing this. And here's the other thing too. So again, this is fighting. This is sport. In reality, you are running away from this, right? You are using your environment to get this person off balance. You are not squaring off with them and doing this. This is a game.
Lion tamer's chair. Smashing him with a trash can.
Yes, you're not messing. You're not doing any of this. Please don't do this. You know, these are guys who are sparring in a competition, having a good time.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a big dude.
That is a big dude, man. Oh shit. But yeah, imagine this is somebody's yard.
It looks like the common area in some suburban
Right.
neighborhood.
Imagine,
That would've been sweet. Hey, if that was my neighborhood, I'd be out there participating.
oh yeah. I mean, imagine if like you showed down like, hey, I was gonna have a picnic with my kid. Nice. Coach Ugari. Yeah. There you go. There's your stick. Yeah, man. I love this crap. That dude's like, yeah, okay. But again, it's just like now we're just doing some.
Now we're just scrapping.
Yeah. It's just
I got some stabs in there. Okay.
Yeah. But again, that's why, when you're grappling with somebody, that dude was getting stabbed. I mean, who knows? I mean, whatever, who knows, right? I mean, guys getting punched, whatever, it's a fight, but things like that. But you're into this and you're rolling around and you don't realize that, yeah, stab. So, but yeah, let me see. Got one more. Again. But again, he's tapping the leg. You're like, what are you doing? Right? Is this, other than, I guess, setting them up or whatever.
There's one other thing that I guess it's kind of controversial. Not that, like, I know we don't care, but
right.
Where people are always like, oh, I'm learning Salat. I'm learning, Filipino stick fighting. I'm learning, whatever, right? Throw it out there. And I'm always like, they're like, it's so good. And I'm like, is it? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, how many wars have they won?
Right.
They're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, well, the Filipinos traditionally were conquered by everybody. Right. I'm like, or pick whatever your favorite country is.
Well, that's what I always, and that was my thing with with
I'm like, that stuff it's so good, it's so effective, right? Because they won, they like
right.
These people that were invading.
That was my thing with karate for a while, like Okinawa. And they're like, oh well, the samurai, and they had to beat the samurai. No, they didn't. They were like subjugated. So I'm like, you're like, I want to study what the winner did. And then,
but I mean, look at what the Japanese did to China and Korea and Vietnam and like all these other
Philippines.
Right? Yeah, Japan was like, well, guess what? I guess jujitsu or karate or whatever you want to call it trumps Eskrima.
right.
Trumps kung fu. And they just walked in with their sword and their freaking, they're like trying to praying mantis them, and the guy just walks up and chops them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. That's what I always say. It's like, I always ask myself, I'm like, what are the Germans studying?
Right?
It's like Norm Macdonald had a great joke. He's like, it was Germany against the world twice, and they almost won both times.
Yeah. Like, the thing that stopped them both times was America.
Yeah, right.
So what was America doing? Well, we were building bigger, better.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get some of the comments. Yeah, Mike said, look how much ground he had to cover. Yeah, the HOA is pissed. That's right. Yeah, how do you carry, do you carry a stick, when you go out? Right. I'm like, that's true, but I will say, I'm like, okay, you can pull off the cane or the, umbrella, like really sturdy umbrella. You can.
Or a stick from off the ground, or
right.
There's plenty of trash around,
stuff to find.
Yeah,
but yeah, to your point, you're not carrying a screamer stick unless it's like masked as either an umbrella or a cane, something like that. But yeah, but I get a kick out of that shit because it's just, you look at it and you're like, one, and we used to do that stuff, and it was fun. But again, you get confused because it is demanding. You are, trying to insert your will over another human being. There's a lot of value to that. It toughens you up. I mean, you're getting hit, dude, even if you're not getting your arm broken by a stick. But no, but Mike brings up a great point. But do they train those tools? No, they don't, dude. They don't. They just do and if, to be honest with you, if either one of them used a two-handed grip on the stick, it might not be different. I mean, I've never competed in any of these stick fighting things. I've trained with guys who did, and they from what I was told, you couldn't use two hands on a stick at all. Crossbar smashing somebody, coming down on them, jumping across, like using the butt of it to drive it through them. I mean, imagine if one of those guys just took the thing and just started driving it into the guy in front of him. Holy crap. While this guy's doing this, you're just like, okay, hit my head, hit my shoulder, hit my arm.
Wham,
He's like, bang, bang, just thrusting it in.
3 or 4 hits, the guy's like, I'm done. I quit.
Yeah, fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Or just running at him and just crossbarring his head off. It's like, okay, holy crap. They probably, don't, probably not allowing that too much. But anyway, I just, it's fun. I like it. Let me see what else I got. I have something else here. It was from a while ago. I don't even know what it is. What is it? Oh, okay. Yeah, this is a good one. Okay. I have this titled Hallway Molester.
Oh, yeah.
So here we go. Self-defense in the street or the hallway. Video 850. They're Asian. They must be good. Okay. The dreaded wrist grab. Okay. Instead of just okay. Why is he grabbing your wrist? What is this? What is the purpose of this attack? For me to hold you and stand there.
Yeah. Hey. I didn't like your shirt.
Normally you'd be like, get your hand off me.
Yeah, you're like, do
I know you? It's like, what? No. Punch you in the face repeatedly. Next. No, we're just doing this. Regrab, because you're going to think about this too. And then he's going to sit there and let you, what are you doing? See, the thing is, it's like when you actually do this to a human being who lets you, it's going to feel like you did something. And he's going to say that worked. But I don't even know what the hell this is, right? Why you would do this, why somebody, that this is an attack, that he's still wearing a Bluetooth earpiece. I've got so many questions upon questions.
You can ask my little brother how well techniques like this work when they don't know how they're supposed to work.
Right.
I tried a lot of stuff on my little brother.
Right.
And he'd be like, oh, okay. And I'd be like, well, that didn't work. He'd be like, what was supposed to happen?
Right. You're
supposed to flip or do this or do that. And he'd be like, oh, I didn't know.
Right. No, you're supposed to pay for lessons and then let me do this to you. But this is like, and this will get like a shit ton of, whatever likes and whatever from people. It's 44. See what the comments are. No. Okay, no. Nice Poe. Good job. Okay, these are okay. Very nice. 20 freaking people. Nice. Wow. Good.
I like that big good. Yeah.
Nice Lodi. I guess this is his students. I don't know. Fire. Guys, you should all get your money back. I'm like, yeah.
Legal. Okay, sure.
Yeah. All right. I don't get it. So, oh, dude, I just wanted to look at I got to look at the Milf-jitsu comments. Sorry. I'm sorry. See where she? Okay, here we go. Hold on. No, there's no comments.
Probably comments turned off.
Yeah. I'm like, oh no. And let me just hold on. History. See if there was there.
Try this on my son. Yeah. Yeah, Mike, I've heard about your sons.
Okay. All right. Hold on. Now we got some with the Aikido ones, and then we'll just have some fun with this. Yeah, right, Mike. Oh shit. Famous art of bullshit. I hate the Bullshido comment. It's been done. Just stop. Holy shit, that's Jason Bourne. If
The trash coming through the window.
I didn't see that one. Monty Python self-defense. Imagine this going in a street fight like this.
Bananas. Oh gosh, these comments are good.
Self-freeze, self-defense. Let's go.
Anyone's feelings.
People don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm upset. Oh, I did a keel back in the days, and it was definitely not like that. Like a Lady Black doesn't even spin a little lead kick against attackers, putting in about 3% effort. Who runs at someone with their arms out? Steven Seagal, Sills, the Menace. Okay. You know. All right. I don't know. So, yeah, that was fun. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Mike said, got some big kids. All right, man. So, yeah. So, what else is going on with you?
Starting back into my master's program soon.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Did whatchamacallit? Did I guess something came through?
What do you mean?
Well, your master's program. Weren't you doing that for? You were going to move back to Utah, right?
No, that was something totally different. Yeah, no.
Okay, no.
I just got like a few classes in and then took a break, and now I'm like, all right, I should go and finish. So
yeah, how much more do you have?
Like 75%.
Oh, okay.
It'll be like a 15-month journey,
Right, sure.
Use up with the last bit of my GI Bill probably.
Yeah.
So.
Good enough. All right, nice.
But it's it's relative for today. It's on irregular warfare, so
that's what we're living in.
Exactly. So it's gonna be great. I'm gonna get all kinds of.
Did you hear? I mean, they're talking about again. They bring up Yuri Bezmenov over and over again.
Yeah.
And they just had dude was just on Rogan, a British dude. They're talking about they're playing clips from him about subverting the generations and what's happening now and what has happened and and it's like all right there. And he goes, and even if you tell them, they won't believe you. Even if you show them the truth,
they don't believe.
They won't see it until they get a boot in their fat butt.
Yeah. The other thing too, so I had this conversation with somebody else, and there, everybody was like, why is it just like older white women or just white women in general who are like 90% of these people,
Right.
And someone made an interesting comment, it's like, oh, well, women are more easily manipulated for that kind of stuff. And it made me remember something from my classes. And I was like, actually, you're right. Because when they were trying to bring communism to China, the men were all like, no, this is dumb.
Right.
And they turned, and communism couldn't get a foothold. So then they actually went to the women and started telling the women, oh, this will make lives better. We're going to help all the people because women naturally want to nurture and all those things. Right. And the women were like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And then they started talking to their husbands about it. The husbands are like, oh, well, sure, whatever. I don't care. Like if it's going to help people, sure. And that's how they got their foothold, was through the women. And I'm like, no, you're absolutely right. Wait a minute. It's like, I forgot about this from a few years ago, but yeah, no, that's why we're seeing all these women involved, because that's who they're targeting, because it works. Right.
Exactly. Yes. And that's where, you're looking at it like, and let's be honest, as soon as your wife comes home and is like, oh yeah, I want to, you're like, yeah, whatever. Okay, fine.
Right. Exactly.
Just like, I just,
all right, whatever.
Yeah, I just don't want to be fucking bothered with it. What are you talking about? I don't care. Fine. Vote for him.
Right. I should vote for this guy. All right, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. And it's fine as long as you shut up. And men will do anything to, get a woman. So, and it's like, okay, I got to invest in something that's really not affecting me until it does. But yeah, and that's it. I mean, most of the people that are at these things, that was funny. Like a lot of the BLM stuff was like mostly white people. I'm like, what? Okay. Really? I'm like, yeah.
I watched this clip last night. I think it was with my wife, and it was these guys who were cleaning up this dude's yard that was like just completely like demolished, right? Just like overgrown and everything. And they're like cleaning up. And these people, these two white people drive up and they're like, hey, cracker, you know, why don't you go get a real job and feed your kids and blah, 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 blah. And the guy's like, excuse me? He's like, I'm just cutting this dude's yard for free.
Right.
And they're like, get a real job, blah, 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 blah. And they like drove off. And he's like, I don't understand what just happened. And he's like, you can come help me. Like, we're like doing a service for this old guy. You know? Yeah. It's just like, but it's two white people calling another white person cracker. And I'm just like, what is wrong with these people?
Yeah. And they're all out there and they all have a voice.
Yeah.
You know, and that's where, I mean, look, we talk about like the good things about social media, you know, which again, it toppled big media, you know, it forced it, you know, it definitely has, you know, put information out there. I mean, it's funny because watch now, because, you know, like I'm watching, you know, trend on Rogan, definitely making an assault on archaeology. You know, because that's like this freaking foothold of bullshit that, you know, now, you know, where they're like, you know, bringing on all these people talking about, you know, alternative, you know, civilizations. And, you know, they had the dude from Italy who did the scan of the pyramids.
Nice.
Yeah. And then, yeah, it's, you know, they had another dude on today from Peru. It was interesting, you know, it's like, what about, you know, they're talking about mummies and, you know, a lot of the stuff is like what's forged, what's not. And then like how many different types of people they're finding and some of this other stuff. So it's interesting, you know, and then messing around with the timelines of things, which, you know, we're always taught things were this old, but no, we don't know we don't know how old Earth is or how old it's not. Really don't. You know, and you talk about like fossils, you know, it's like everything turns to dust. So, you know, we only have like a small fraction of what has ever lived, right? We have no clue. I mean, stuff just comes and goes and there's no trace of it. So, you know, to sit there and be like, oh, well, this and this. And every time they do like a dinosaur, you know, recreation or whatever the hell it is, it's like, it always looks like, you ever see the recreations they do when they do, if they like did whale bones,
mm-hmm.
You know, and it looks like this crazy freaking monster.
Yeah. They grab like they grab like one vertebrae and like one half of a hip bone. And then they're like, now recreate this creature. And it's like a blue whale. And they come up with like some crazy thing.
Right. 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 Because they do a thing called, like they don't account for if it has any mass on it or fat or anything.
Yeah.
And it's just like this stretched down thing. And you're like, yeah, no. So last Mike's like, I'm a driving instructor for 16, 17, 18-year-olds. You cannot believe what they talk about and how they're owed everything. It's insane. Yeah. You know, there's a parenting factor in there. Granted, you know, once your kid is like, you know, it's another thing for homeschooling, but yeah, once your kid's out there, you know, they get things in their heads, but hopefully, you know, your kids respect their parents enough that they like consider, you know, what they say. But it's like, yeah, they've been fed a lot of bullshit. You know, like I tell my kids, you know, tomorrow's not promised to anybody. Nobody owes you anything. Life is freaking hard, but there's some good parts in there. So, oh, thanks, Mary. That's your name, Myanmar
Myanmar
Oh, thank you. So, all right. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Again, you know, if you want to like, subscribe, great. You know, check us out. Links underneath. If you want to, you know, start training with us and get some armor, get protected. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Josh. Really good podcast. Until next time, everybody, train honestly.